felt like that because I wrote down here, like in the first part of the movie, it felt like your typical artist catching their break.
Yeah.
And then, but like other films we watched over time, money does affect him. And then even his friend called him a sellout.
But here's what I don't get about that. Cezanne, I mean, you're an artist. It's like, what's that? Chappell Roan, who a few months ago wrote a big thing about how she really disliked her new fame and how people were trying to get her out. And I'm like, you know what? You wanted this all your life and you got it. And now you're complaining about it. What? I mean, it's Cezanne going, well, you an artist should be poor. Well, I don't know about that. I think artists should make money off what they're doing, and he's making money off of what he's doing. I think
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chicago Cinephiles podcast. I'm your co-host, Daniel. Joining me, as always, is James and Steven. How we doing today?
Oh, great with the snowpocalypse we had. Ha ha.
No snow?
It's
flurry.
The Tribune yesterday had an article saying Chicago bracing for snow. 2 inches of snow per hour at 4 a.m. going all day. I woke up at 7. There's like 2 flakes outside, and at 9 they're all gone. It's insane. I want to be a weatherman in Chicago and make that money and be wrong all the time. It's just crazy. Like, after Tom Skilling left, it's all went to hell. So it just annoys me. We're in Chicago. Yeah, it's going to snow. It's going to be bad. It's going to be cold. Deal with it.
And windy. Who would have thought?
I mean, oh, breaking news! It's going to snow. I mean, calm the hell down, people. Although my first October here, it snowed October 29th. Never forget it. And I'm working at the coffee shop, and the redneck and me went, "Y'all, I gotta go. We gotta go. It's snowing." And they went, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "We gotta go. It's snowing. Sit down, redneck. We don't have to."
No,
go.
we panic here in the South. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a less panic is as our movie for today. We are doing the Life of Emile Zola.
Emile Zola.
Hello. Very interesting movie, so let's go and hop right into it. It had a release date of August the 11th, 1937. So almost 100 years.
Wow.
Stars in the movie is Paul Muni as Émile Zola, Gloria Holden as Alexandrine Zola,
yes,
Joseph, I'm not going to try to say her last name, Schildkraut. I'll let Steven because he's better with the German names. And then Alfred Dreyfus. Playing as Alfred Dreyfus. So that was kind of the main thing. It did have a budget of $700,000.
Creepers.
But they failed to. They never publicly released what it grossed, probably because they were embarrassed by
it. 2 people saw it.
It was nominated for 10 Oscars. Oh. Fun fact: it was the first film to receive double digits, and it did win 3, including Best Picture. Best Supporting Actor, the Joseph Sauerkraut. I know it's not his last name, that's what I'm saying. And then Best Actor as Paul Muni.
Oh, there you go.
It also is the second biopic to win the Best Picture, followed by The Great Ziegfeld, which we've seen. If you guys haven't seen that, please check our history. You can take a look at that and watch that. And it was the first Warner Bros. Release to win Best Picture. Thought that was kind of a neat little fun fact. And then also
biopics, and now we have a new biopic out right now, The Blue Moon. Have you seen it, James? Because you always see all these new movies. Have you seen Blue Moon?
No, I am so behind this month.
Because it's about the life of Richard Rogers. No, excuse me, about Lawrence Hart, who works with Richard Rogers. Lawrence Hart, who wrote,
I do want to see the new Michael Jackson movie, though.
Yeah, it's a little disturbing to me, but that's
okay. And then in 2000, it was selected for preservation in the United States Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. I'm still trying to figure out which one that falls under because I don't think it falls under any of them, but we'll find out.
Yeah, hello.
I guess maybe the historic because it was the first one to win 10 in the first Warner Bros. But alrighty, now now the hardest.
Oh no.
2 minutes that Steven's had to do because this is hard summing up this movie in 2 minutes. But Steven, give us your best.
I didn't. That's why it was easy. Here it is. So, The Life of Emile Zola is a biographical drama about the famed French writer and social critic Émile Zola. The film follows Zola's rise from poverty to literary fame through his outspoken novels that expose social injustice. His courage is put to the test when he becomes involved in the real-life Dreyfus affair, a political scandal in which a Jewish army officer, Captain Alfred Dreyfus, is wrongly accused or convicted of treason. Risking his reputation and freedom, Zola publicly accuses the French government of corruption and anti-Semitism in his famous letter, J'accuse, published in January of 1898 in the newspaper L'Aurore. The film portrays Zola's unwavering commitment to truth and justice, ultimately celebrating the power of words to confront oppression. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. Nice job. And I want to add one woman to the cast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, who I don't know much about her work. I just know one thing about her. So the woman who played Dreyfus's wife is Gail Sundergaard, who was the first person cast as the Wicked Witch in The Wizard of Oz.
Was she the one that had like? Is she the one that had like the crazy like reaction to the makeup and stuff?
No, they wanted her to be because they were going after the Snow White, the animated Snow White, was such a big hit and was such a glamorous queen who turned into this ugly witch. So they wanted the Wicked Witch to be glamorous. So she had this really slinky outfit, no green makeup, little cute hat. Like look at the production stills; it's pretty hot. And then they said, no, she has to be ugly. Well, then they tried to make her ugly. She's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not playing ugly. I'm not doing this. No, and, and then they called Margaret Hamilton, and her agent said they want you for the Wizard of Oz, and she went, well, what role? And she said, well, the Wicked Witch. What else? Thanks a lot. It's like when I got called back to play, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. We think you'd be perfect. Screw you. So,
that's funny.
That's one of my favorite little stories about her.
No, that's good. I didn't.
I'm not playing ugly, honey.
I didn't connect those two, so thank you for that.
I love her.
Alrighty, so now we're going to go over what was going on in the year 1937. So what we do is we like to kind of go over what was going on politically or just in the media or in social, in the society in general, because that may affect some of the reasons why this movie had won. So in January 1937, FDR's second term, he was inaugurated. In February, Of Mice and Men was published. I feel like everyone had to read that book when they were in school. Wow. In March, a natural gas explosion in Texas killed about 300. It's crazy. I've never heard of that before. Man, that's a lot of people. You'd think you would have I've never heard that. Because in a few months, you'll see way less people died in a certain event that everyone knows. In April, Nazis test the new Air Force, the Luftwaffe, in northern Spain.
Shut up. In Spain.
In May, this is what I'm talking about. In May, the Hindenburg, only about 36 died, and we know that way more than the 300 died.
The humanity.
Yeah, it's because that line. There was
it's also on film too. Like the explosion was recorded. So,
and we have the great WKRP in Cincinnati where they're throwing turkeys out, and you have Les Nessman on the humanity as the turkeys are here.
Or when they blow up the whale on the beach. In May, also, the Golden Gate Bridge opened. And then also May, Volkswagen was founded.
Wow, look at there.
In June, this is for us movie buffs, because we'll get this movie eventually. Duke of Windsor marries American socialite Wallace Simpson, giving up the kingdom, which is the reference to the backstory of King's Speech.
Yeah, buddy.
And then in July, Amelia Earhart goes missing. And then in August, the first electric guitar was the first patent for the electric guitar came out.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So slow news year, huh?
Yeah.
The humanity.
I always feel like you guys it's just, I know it's not related, but like I feel like there's always like some events that I'm just drawn towards. I am for some reason like the Amelia Earhart like missing is just so fascinating to me. Like if I would love to be able to like just find out what really
What
happened.
happened to him?
Like I think we know, but like to fully know what happened to her.
Well, there's a really bad first season episode of Star Trek Voyager where she shows up in the Delta Quadrant. How the hell she got in the Delta Quadrant, I don't know. And they sort of, she's like in this cryo chamber. How did she get in a cryo chamber? I don't know. But, you know, so you have this, you know, it's like, come on, Star Trek, you're
That's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
I'm always,
come on.
the one I'm attracted to is, you know, the Luftwaffe because of northern Spain, because Picasso does Guernica.
Oh,
If you
yes.
ever have a chance in
Whoa.
Spain, in Madrid, go see it. It's not the Prada, it's the other one.
Wow. That's amazing. The Guernica. Wow.
It is kind of cool to just like,
Gorgeous.
and I think it's neat too to like look at this almost 100 years and like we can see the footsteps, like we can see that the Nazis are doing the Luftwaffe and all that kind of stuff, and like sort of see, you know, kind of we can see it like it building up. But I mean, some people obviously knew it was happening then, but not everybody still was a believer. So it's kind of neat. We can look back and see the steps.
I read something yesterday about this very famous comedian, Frank Fay, who was a big guy in vaudeville. Everybody hated him because he was a real prick. But he was such a white supremacist that after the Nazis won, he held a rally in Madison Square Garden in 1947.
Wow.
That was like lamenting the death of Hitler. What?
Oh my God.
I was like, what is going on here? I mean, there's sort of contention about whether or not this is actually something that happened, because you can't find any really documentation about it except for this one book written about his life.
He didn't tweet about it?
He didn't tweet. He didn't have social media then.
He blue social. Okay.
He was,
or blue skied or whatever it is.
He was a true social person. He was very different.
He blue skied it.
Oh my God.
Alrighty, y'all. On that note, let's hop in. So this is one of those very rare exceptions. I feel like where none of us have seen this movie, and honestly, I've never even heard of this movie. Like, had you guys heard of it?
I'd heard of it. No,
of course you have.
I haven't heard of the movie. I've heard of the premise, but I've never heard of the movie.
Yeah,
I've never heard of any of this, so that's kind of interesting. So, what was our initial thoughts going into it?
I honestly didn't know a thing. I didn't know.
Snorefest?
Well, it's not going to be a, this is how badly literate I am. I didn't know he was an author. I thought maybe he did some chemical stuff. I was just like, okay, I'm a dummy. So,
is this Oppenheimer?
Yeah, really.
The only thing that I knew about it is because I'm a big fan of the Impressionist painters is Paul Cézanne. Yeah. And I knew like kind of about his life. And that's because I know like Émile Zola, like him, because of Paul Cézanne. And it was like a fun side quest. I learned a little bit about him and his earlier career because of that. But
yeah, I knew nothing, and I was very disappointed going this week. I'm not gonna lie. I did not want to. I was cursing the wheel. I did not want to watch it.
The Wheel of Destiny.
Alrighty then. So let's hop in. So to me, I feel like the movie really was I think it can be broken down in two parts, honestly. And I kind of want to talk more about this episode, guys. I'll be more talking about like hypotheticals or like, I guess, not necessarily about the actual movie itself, but just kind of more of our thoughts about some things that happened on it. I really feel like this was a 2-part movie, and it was hard to it was hard to follow, honestly. I was lost.
I would agree with you there completely. Because Leslie was trying to keep track of who is that?
Yeah, you're like, wait, what? Because like I felt the first part was your typical biopic of his life, and then the second part was just like the Dreyfus affair, and that was a scandal. And it kind of felt like in the second act he was a supporting actor.
I'll say this: I believe
on his own biopic. Like what?
I believe I read that the initial treatment of this was just the Dreyfus affair. That was
it was.
So, and then the producer's like, well,
which we'll get into.
The second writer came in doing that. So it is a little two movies.
It felt spliced.
Yeah, a little bit of that. I would say that definitely.
Well, I don't know if this helps, but it was apparently filmed in reverse because the guy, the beard, he like was growing it out.
Wow.
And then like when he was younger, he had like 3.5 hours of makeup. So like the movie is shot in reverse. So as the movie is physically being shot, it's going into the movie. So it's like his beard is getting longer as they're filming. So it's like,
why revert? That is the dumbest idea to take care of a beard I've ever. I mean, when you want actors to really feel their character, you let them go in the order of the story. So they don't have to
you
think
trim
about
a little bit off, Steven. This makes more sense. You trim off a little bit of the beard, make it a little shorter.
It's so dumb.
You darken it up a little bit every
You go to
day
a
of
Halloween
filming.
store, you pull out a beard. I mean, come on. It's crazy.
No, but I don't know if that also contributed to help it feeling like it's kind of spliced together because it was shot in such a weird order.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But,
and I forgot. Let's hop back. We didn't do the fun facts. So
fun facts.
I assume that's a fun fact that was filmed in backwards.
I call it merrily.
I thought we were going to try something and splicing it in.
No, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, crazy.
I got a couple random ones.
What do you got? Rando?
So apparently this film was banned a lot.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, weird.
But one of my favorite things about the Oscar nomination was apparently they had to delay it because flooding was so bad for the Oscars.
Wow.
They had to delay it like a week because like it was just
like LA was flooded or like the building it was in.
I think LA.
Like LA had terrible flooding, so people had a hard time getting in at that time. So they had to delay
floods,
the Oscars.
They've had fire. What's next? Locusts?
They've had Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like what's
Hold on. What's next? Frogs coming from the sky?
They had Kardashians.
Oh God, don't say it. Oh my Lord.
And then Stevie, go ahead if you have want to go for it.
Well, here's what I read this, and I didn't read this. I found this somewhere weird. A 1953 investigation by journalist Jean Bedel, published in the newspaper Libération, under the name "Was Zola Assassinated?" raised the idea that Zola's death might have been a murder instead of an accident. It's based on a revelation that by Norman pharmacist Pierre Haquin, who was told by a chimney sweep that he intentionally blocked the chimney of Zola's apartment in Paris.
Wow.
And he was paid to do so. And then there's other, so this wasn't just something that happened. He was killed because of what he did.
Wow.
Yeah, which is fascinating to me. And I loved in the beginning of the movie where he's talking about, we're not a part of our own fate or something, and how someone could, not put out, some servant could not put this out and someone could die of suffocation. I was like, hello.
Irony.
Foreshadowing. Hello, you're talking about it, but
100%.
It was a little weird. That was strange. But that was like, whoa. So he really was killed for what he did.
Well, did they actually prove it, or is that just someone saying
it? They said there were people who acknowledged that. So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So come on.
I thought maybe it was like one of like conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I tell you, deathbed confessionals can be crazy.
And the other part that's just so it's maddening to me. Pardon me, is that here Hollywood in 1936, 37 is trying to sort of keep their movies open to the German public, and they really no one wanted to make Hitler mad. Ooh, don't make the aristocrat, whatever, the mad. We don't want to make the crazy man the mad. So we won't say anything about Jews or anti-Semitism. And the only thing about the Dreyfus affair, they have a little thing when he's reading the paper about him.
And it says that, yeah.
That's it.
I think it says like even like Jewish descent. It doesn't even say Jew, I believe, or something like that.
I mean, everyone who owned those studios was Jewish. What's up? I mean, it's fascinating to me.
We can definitely get into that because this is where my history comes in.
So fascinating. They just don't want to deal with it. They want to keep. I guess their money was coming in. So who knows?
This reminded me of what's the movie called that we watched where it was the politician who become corrupt over time?
Yes.
From Louisiana.
All the King's Men.
All the King's Men. This felt like that because I wrote down here, like in the first part of the movie, it felt like your typical artist catching their break.
Yeah.
And then, but like other films we watched over time, money does affect him. And then even his friend called him a sellout.
But here's what I don't get about that. Cezanne, I mean, you're an artist. It's like, what's that? Chapel Rowan, who a few months ago wrote a big thing about how she really disliked her new fame and how people were trying to get her out. And I'm like, you know what? You wanted this all your life and you got it. And now you're complaining about it. What? I mean, it's Cezanne going, well, you artists should be poor. Well, I don't know about that. I think artists should make money off what they're doing, and he's making money off it. I think it makes him more safe as an artist. He's not wanting to lose the income.
Yeah.
But this idea that, I've read this all my life and now I have it. But there's a story about when they were filming the Steel Magnolias that Julia, it was 100 degrees outside. They're filming a thing for Christmas. They're all in these hot things. And Dolly Parton's just sitting, waiting for the shot. Everyone else is in their trailers. And so, what's her name? Julia, oh gosh, what's her name? Comes out and says, Dolly, just go in your trailer. Don't wait around. They have people who can sit it for you. Why are you doing this? And Dolly Parton said, honey, when I was a little girl, all I wanted to do was this right here. I'm not going to complain now that I'm doing it.
Wow.
And to me, it's the same thing.
That's why she's an icon.
Yeah, be poor. I don't know about that. Kind of bothered me. But I see what he's saying about him being more safe as a writer and not going to take this on. Because this is a big thing to take on, quite frankly. A big problem. And he knew what was going to happen to him. He had to. So, I don't know. That could be a little bit.
Anything, James?
Artists should get paid. Artists should get paid.
Hello?
Like, doctors, you know, we put people, oh, you went in the medical field, you became a doctor, you shouldn't take a salary. Like, I don't know. That's always my belief. Like, you shouldn't be compensated. You should just do it for the love and be poor. No, get paid.
No.
I don't know.
I'll tell you, musicians won't walk through a door unless there's a check or some cash. They won't do it. They won't. No, I'm not doing that. They won't. I talked to a group of musicians once at a college about acting and whatnot, and they were like, "Wait a minute, you think it's for free? What do you mean? Why?" They were just baffled by it, and that's why I like working with musicians because they don't like to rehearse because they ain't getting paid. But I'm getting paid. I don't rehearse this. So you go back here, you go to the bridge, you go on blues riff and C, we're gone. They don't want to do it, and I enjoy that. I don't want to sit in rehearsal all day long and go over it over and over it. Let's just get there and go. So you're right. You're a doctor, you're getting paid. You're an actor. Well, until you get on Friends, you're not going to make any money.
I think they do. I think they do try to merge the two by making Cezanne him calling him out be the
I agree.
What was the catalyst? So they did try to merge the two movies and kind of made him but
and the burning of the books and this is what you did before,
right?
That was a good point. I like that a lot.
And then so basically, let's talk about the Dreyfus affair. So as Steven mentioned, it was a French officer was accused of passing military secrets to the Germans in the 1890s. He was actually innocent, but was a Jew, so he was found guilty. There's a lot more than just that, obviously, but that's kind of the gist of it. It's kind of crazy that, even in the 1890s, they were already, that it was just... Because that was, the Otto von Bismarck, so it wasn't even...
Yeah.
It was... And, he's not, no one's as bad as Hitler, but, he's not even as nowhere near the same level as him, and there was already corruption... 40 years in the making. So it's this was just destined to happen. It's very similar to the Civil War in America, where the four presidents before Lincoln did nothing. They just kind of kicked the can down kicked the can down the road and hoped somebody else would do it. I think this is very similar to all these feelings and all this, the economy being not stable. They just kicked the can down the road until someone was a radical and said, we got Lincoln, thankfully. They got Hitler.
Same with Vietnam. I don't want to deal with this.
Facts.
Go to Cambodia, and then it's just no one wanted no one wanted to lose the war.
Facts.
I don't want to be the president to lose the war. It's funny that we think about every comedian will go, well, in every 40 years in Germany, stuff gets weird. We need to watch them. But I think it's human nature. I mean, what we learn is there's always been corruption. Everything old is new again. And these people going, well, we've already got someone, that's been convicted for this. We don't want to look bad.
Yeah.
We made a mistake, so we'll just keep him convicted. And that's, well, God forbid we look like we're not in control. Well, you're not in control, so maybe you should see it. But, everything is as it has always been, quite frankly, I think. And I've been there since 1748, so I know.
He's the original signer.
Yes. Well, if you think about it, isn't this 26 years after the formation of the Third Republic? So, France itself is still figuring France out at that point.
Crazy.
Right?
Because you don't have Napoleon
their
anymore.
Institutions aren't as powerful as they once were, so...
Yeah, it's weird.
The broken chain like the United States for the past couple hundred years.
And we'll dive more into it, obviously, but one thing that, it's just kind of ironic, but, I think that it's kind of cool that Zola even wrote the letter to the president for help. Like he had that kind of power. Like to me, that shows again someone who had no idea who he was. I had no idea who this guy was. The fact that he's able to have that kind of reach, that's it's not like joking earlier. It's not like a Twitter. You can't tweet at him. You write like he like actually accepts the letter, and you know what I mean. It's like that speaks for what kind of power he had. Basically, Zola or people knew who he was. Obviously,
I think it's just when they showed that scene with Nana in the bookstore, and the husband picks it up, and the wife wants it. No, you don't need to buy books like that. So he's gonna read it, and then she send it to my address because like no one wants to. It's a bad book, quote unquote, bad book, but so no one's gonna say they read it, but everyone's reading.
It's smut.
It's like that damn. What's that movie that book came out? 50 Shades of Grey. Like everybody. No, I would never read that book. Everybody read that book when it came out. When Baby Doll
or the Twilight books
Baby Doll was such a. It was about this a young woman who's married to this old farmer, and he's off, and she sleeps with the field hand. And the Catholic League called it the most degrading, horrible, sinful movie in the world, and they had lines around the block. How to get free press. Say you shouldn't see this movie. Okay, I'll go see it. It's the same all over. I think that's what he tapped into.
Is that why we have Avatar 5 coming out?
God, don't say it. That's just stupidity. That's American stupidity.
So stupid.
Unobtainium. Oh my God, kill me now. Hope I never have to watch that.
I thought I was going to Steve or James. I thought I was going to lose. I thought me and Steven. I thought Steven was going to kill me this weekend because I made the comment that I was watching Avatar the TV show.
So they have a TV
show? Before I could even correct myself, I hear a gasp basically, and I'm like, "No, it's not the same thing. I promise. It's a great show. Trust me." Like I'm trying to convince him that I was like, "No, it's great. I promise." Have you seen that? Have you seen the anime or James or no?
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
Because I watched Avatar, James, until they said the word unobtainium, and I said, I'm out. I'm not watching. I don't care. I can't watch this anymore. That's the dumbest name.
It's like Wolverine with
adamantium.
Yeah,
but adamantium sounds like Adamant, the 80s rock star, and Anti-M got together and they made a metal. But unobtainium. I mean, who wrote this? Stan Lee? Seriously, what the hell?
I do think that
Stan Lee.
I do think Avatar does the first one does deserve a spot in pop culture because it was the first Blu-ray movie.
I think James
Cameron, and it was beautiful.
Never make another movie again. I mean, anybody has to put his first name in front of the title. Go away. We're done with you. I don't care anymore. I'm done.
He's like the Jason Derulo of
look at me. I've done a movie. Well, other people did movies too. They don't put their front name on it. Dumbass.
Okay, so had you guys ever heard of the Dreyfus Affair? I'm a history person, and I know a lot about war, not this era, but World War II and World War I, kind of what led up to it. And I've never heard Dreyfus Affair.
I thought it was a Richard Dreyfus Affair. Is what I thought. I wasn't sure. I was
Richard Dreyfus Affair. Had you? Really? Well, I guess you had because of the Émile Zola connection.
Well, the probably again, Cezanne, sorry, and then I did learn about it in high school history.
But you remember it though?
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna call BS on that. Remember. Come on, there's no way.
I don't know. Huh? I don't know. I remember sort of vaguely
because there's a lot of affairs that happened. You know what I mean?
Monica Lewinsky. All of the affairs.
No, I'm saying, but you might have got mixed up with something else. I don't feel like maybe. Hey, give credit to your teacher. Pat him on the back if they did. I felt this movie assumed that we had heard about it, and that I don't think they thought someone 100 years from now would be watching it. Which, to be fair, I don't blame them. You can't think that far ahead. But because I had to look it up, I had no idea what is why what is this? I had to do my, no, maybe it's just me being inquisitive, but I paused it and pulled it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean, isn't it their Watergate, but
basically that's a good way to put it.
We remember Watergate, they remember the affair. So apparently Watergate will be like this in 100 years from there. Whatever.
I think Dick Nixon will live forever. Quite frankly, what he.
Well, it's also the president's the most powerful person in the world. It's not just a random, French officer sneaking military documents. You know what I mean?
America needs a full-time president. Yeah, no.
Well, I know, but I'm assuming it's on that type of scale where the whole world knew about it.
Well, we just knew it, except we don't. So
and it's just through the course of time, it's been selected. It's because let's just face it, there's a lot of stuff that happened in the 20th century that kind of overshadows whatever this was.
Yeah,
Like,
real.
like you got the World Wars, you got all this other, you got the moon landing. It's a pretty packed decade.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like you have like even like earlier, you have like Titanic sinking. I mean, like there's a lot of stuff going on.
Titanic.
Like,
I wonder what 100 years from now, what's going to happen when we have the 6-7 movie. What are people going to know what that is? I don't know what they're going to happen. You know, that's going to be a great movie when it comes out. I can't wait for that. In 20 years.
That's like the first meme that I've ever legit wanted to be like, I'm done. Just send the asteroid. Take us all out. Like
it's like this last Summer Olympics where they had breakdancing. That'd be great if it was 84. I mean, come on, this is 2024. Are you kidding? Oh, we're so rad. We're gonna bring the kids in. The kids aren't breakdancing anymore. They stopped in 92, for God's sake. Give it a break.
No, breakdancing stopped when that Australian breakdance in the Olympics, and it was so bad that basically ruined that entire sport.
I think breakdancing stopped at Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo, which I saw in the theaters. Thank you very much. Well, and they had it one night, a late night on TCM. Turner Classic Movies played Breakin' 2. I thought you're going to kill the internet. This is ridiculous.
The reason why they have that, James, because we're obviously big Olympic buffs, is like every year. I think starting now, every Olympics, they're having like a city like specific event because like USA has flag football.
Paris brought in breakdancing.
Yeah, Paris shows breakdancing. Yeah.
Serious.
Well, they couldn't show as being snobby, so they had to pick because they had to pick something else.
I think that would have been more entertaining.
That'd been hilarious.
Get the bitchiness of Parisians, you'll be happy.
I mean, America has flag football this time around.
You're serious, really?
Flag football?
And its NFL players are playing too.
Flag football. I love touch football.
There's another one too. It's I think it's I don't know. There's one more that they brought in too, but I know flag football is the big one.
Why not just regular football? Why flag?
Because nobody in the world plays tackle football but us.
Because we're the only ones who want concussions.
I mean, we're gonna kill them regardless. Because I mean, like imagine Patrick Mahomes and these guys who run like a 4.3 40 going up against these random, Japanese players. Like, yeah, nice try.
It's gonna be like the dream team all over again.
No, seriously, yeah, it really is.
I bet pickleball will be the next one.
That's a good point. That I'm surprised that hadn't been there yet.
How stupid.
Okay, do you guys think that this movie could have just been on the Dreyfus affair and not? I know we kind of talked about earlier, but like if we're not having any outside influence, do we think this movie could just have been about? Do you think it would have been a better movie or better remembered if it focused on the Dreyfus affair and not Zola's life at the beginning?
Perhaps.
I think it would have.
Or do you think that like learning about his life helped him and like why it showed why he became sympathetic to it?
I think it would have been. I don't know. I'm at 6s and 7s with it.
Is it the Batman Begins all over? Where it's like the first. It's awesome to see the Ra's al Ghul part, but is it necessary?
That's just a great movie.
I mean, yeah, Liam Neeson, so it is obviously, but Liam Neeson wasn't acting in 1937,
So yeah, I see your point. It's just you could have the whole movie about Zola, but this is such a huge piece of the puzzle.
They really could have done
just comment on it, or you do the whole. But it's hard to because there's so many. Like you show that montage of things he did. Book. You're like, good Lord, what was that about? There's just so much we didn't cover because we didn't have time. So it's just tough to put it in there to one movie.
That was just a state flexing, but like if you think about it, the only thing that comes up is basically Cezanne saying, "Don't be a sellout. Actually, do reporting." You could have a similar type effect like that. You don't need
the lead up
movie. I think if you would have expanded the Zola off of like the affair, like you would have had, I think it would have been a much better movie. Because right now it's two different movies. It's too disjointed. And
yeah, or maybe if something happened in his life, which obviously you're making it up at this point, but like that, he saw when he was a kid, like maybe his dad was accused of that, or like something, I don't know, something that would have made him more sympathetic. But I agree, it kind of felt like, oh yeah, we need to link these two together somehow. Like let's do this.
And one of the things that I'm sure you saw this, James, that there are many, many movies about the Dreyfus affair. There's the Dreyfus case from 1930, the Dreyfus case 1931.
Really? Wow.
I Accused in 1958, Prisoner of Honor 1991, and An Officer and a Spy from 2019.
Wow.
So there's a lot of movies that cover this.
Yeah.
So this is one that
like,
sort of expanded it.
I agree. Like so there was different movies. It wasn't necessarily on him, but like were those talkies in the 30s?
30 was not, I don't think, but 31 was. I'm not sure.
No, yeah. So like this is like first talkie. Like it's like Dracula versus Nosferatu. It's like
good evening.
But I don't know. I think it could have just been.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, well, and I think this kind of leads to my next topic is like I think they wanted to try to bring. This is where I feel like I'm frustrated. Like Steven, you mentioned earlier, like I'm frustrated with the whatever they are, the movie companies, because they really could have picked a side and really put their foot in the ground, but they straddled that line where
until they had the time to do it when we were in war, and a little before that. But come on,
yeah, and like I think it's kind of ironic that we have back-to-back movies that definitely had a lot of political impact. The last one we did was Shakespeare in Love. This one I think is I think it's political as to why they never called him, a Jew or anti-Semitic even language, due to Hollywood being essentially in bed with Germany at the time, despite the fact that Jewish immigration had already fled to the U.S. and even Hollywood, like with Hitler being elected, like they already knew it, like. Like there were very famous directors that had already fled over here because of it. So like you can't say like, oh, we didn't know. Exactly.
I mean, you have these people who are here and who are telling the story to people, and it's unconscionable. You know what I mean? And these are Jews who are not helping Jews. It just, I guess we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about money making you a little too comfortable to stick your neck out, And that's just history of the world as we know it. But it's very telling. You look at it and go, why didn't you do this? It's crazy. I was just watching the Kissinger biography on PBS. And the first part, he was born in Germany. His family left 2 weeks before Kristallnacht.
Wow.
His mother got to about 2 weeks before Kristallnacht. Like, whoa. So it really informs why he had the foreign policy he did, because he knew full well what power could do, and he had to have power to combat power. But
so
scary
to come to to play a little devil's advocate, to come to defense. And Stephen, you told me the story before. It's a great story where you talk about how like I think it was maybe high school, whatever, your teacher said, if you were alive in the 1800s, would you be against slavery? And Stephen was the only one that didn't raise his hand, because he's like I didn't live there. How do I know what I would do?
Well, she said, would you take in a slave on the Underground Railroad? Everyone rose their hand, like good little people, and I didn't. And she was, went to the big Baptist church in our neighborhood. She Stephen, you wouldn't. I said, no, I may have, I may not have. I can't answer that question because I'm not living there. I said, I don't see anybody in here that has a crack baby with AIDS raising that. So how can we say we would do the right thing? I mean, in the 80s, there were people dying of crack and no one was taking care of that. So now you're on the moral high ground because you can see in the past what was right and wrong.
Yeah.
It's a little, you can't put yourself in that place. We do that a lot as I've gotten older. It happens more and more that you look back and see right and wrong so perfectly. And you think, I would do the right thing. But you're not living then. I mean, these poor Germans who were under Hitler's control and sticking their neck out would have killed them. I mean, we can't say what we would or would not have done.
Well, and that's why I give the Jewish directors like some credit. Is like they knew like he hadn't officially become full blown crazy when this movie came out, obviously.
You're right.
But there was writing on the wall. But I agree, like it's hard. Like obviously you can say some of it was greed because they want to keep their money, but some of it is hard because it's like I don't want to put my family in jeopardy. Like there's a reason why like we've only had a country like America, like the Revolution, very it doesn't happen very often, every couple hundred years, because it takes a lot of sacrifice. The fact that every person, and I sent it to Stephen the other day, every person that signed the Declaration of Independence or all the founding fathers all died in horrible deaths, essentially became presidents or died bankrupt. Like there's no in between really. And I always hate when people judge like we put 2025 lens on things that happened in the past. I can't sit here and fault the directors of these Hollywood films for not taking more of a stand. Yes, I would love for them to. I think it would have done wonders. But they had a family. They had their own life.
They came from nothing. When they started their Nickelodeons, they had nothing. They came here as immigrants and say, hey, this is a new thing. People are making money with these little Nickelodeons. Yeah. Let's open one. Let's make some money. Hey, we can get a camera. We can do this ourselves. Hey, let's build a studio. Like, they built this from the ground up. So they were protective of it. And I'm sure that's what made them a little crazy with their power. But when you, what is it? My father's friend says, I've been rich and I've been poor. Rich is better. I mean, rich is a lot better, so it's them not wanting to lose that, but also they know where they've been, They want better for their family. You're right. You're absolutely right. I think we can't judge other people. That's what God does.
Chime in, James. Let's hear your thoughts.
Oh, watch out.
You guys have done some interesting conversation. Like,
yeah, sorry. We didn't mean to like exclude you from that. We were just,
okay, you're going like all over the place. So I'm trying to figure like, okay, trying to keep up here. I don't fault the directors, because at that point, like, who could have foreseen what was going to happen? Like, really, that scale hadn't happened until probably the last time we had a scale like that was like in World War One. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's
but remember, it wasn't called World War One. It was just called the Great War.
The Great War.
The war they didn't know there was going to be another one. Like, so yeah, you can't blame them. Exactly.
They thought the war was going to end. Like, they thought all the war was going to be over. Like, problem solved. We're done.
The biggin. We call it the biggin now. The biggin.
No, but it is interesting. Like, thinking about like what you would do back in the day. Like, how would you handle it?
And what would it have honestly done? Would America have even cared about something that happened 50 years ago?
I mean, you also have to think about like the American population. There was a huge German population. So which way did it go?
And so, but we also didn't care about. We didn't want to be in the war, so we didn't really care what Hitler was doing. No. I mean, like, we kept an eye on it, obviously, but like, exactly, we were all about isolationism at the time. No, it's I just. Yeah,
I'm laughing at Lend-Lease. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Lend-Lease. We're going to give you our ladder. You're going to break it, of course. It's a war, but it just killed me that he.
Hey, it's a smart.
Out of the Great Depression.
He was very smart about.
Planes use the planes. They won't come
back. Very smart though. Very smart about it.
Just a funny thing to say to the American people. Yeah, you'll pay for them later.
I felt, just kind of wrap it up, I feel like this movie was also very bland. Like, there was no innovations, there was no cool scene, there was no cool chariot scene, there was no awesome, like, Tower of Dancing Girls on it, like in Great Ziegfeld. Like, there was none of that. It just felt blah to me. I hate to say that, but it did.
His 6-minute speech was impressive, because that took 6 minutes, and they did multiple takes of that. And when he finally, they did the final take, they were all applauding, because it's a lot.
Yeah.
To memorize and to hit your mark and be in the right light and all that stuff. So that is impressive. But I guess there was just something that made you go, there was some moment that
to me, it feels like there should be, like, especially these early films, there should be something that like just blew you away. And I just didn't feel that.
Even Cimarron, the opening of Cimarron.
That's what I'm talking about, the chariot scene. Yeah, with all the
people going to the homestead. I got you. But come on.
I mean, there was the ending where he just suffocated to death. Wasn't that not epic?
Carbon monoxide poisoning is so fascinating to watch when people fall asleep. That's really a fascinating thing to watch. And die.
That's Steven's method.
Well, here we go.
I thought this movie was meh, and I also thought maybe it's like they're still figuring out biopic.
Yeah, yeah. But Ziegfeld was a lot better, in my opinion.
Oh no, Ziegfeld was way better.
But it also could be that the character was just absolutely crazy too. Like Ziegfeld just was more of a crazier character in general.
True.
I just kind of wrap it up before we ask our final thoughts. I do think it could have. I think we've all agreed it could have been something if they had maybe focused on the Dreyfus Affair only. I really think this could have been one of those movies that changed something. I don't know what, but so did you guys? What were y'all's thoughts on the movie? Like, overall, like, James, you kind of. I'll let you go first because you kind of started on it. What was your final thoughts after you watched it?
I mean, saw the movie. It was interesting. It was interesting to a degree, but like I don't know. I don't know if this is like a must see movie. Like
Yeah.
it was okay to watch. I'm like, meh.
That is quite frankly the worst kind of review anybody could get about anything ever. I think if you leave a theater or a play or a movie and you go, I hated it. I hated it. That's better than, oh, that's nice. Let's get some Coke. You know, like it just, that's to me like the place that you don't want to be as an artist. Even when there are people who hated that I Love Lucy and Ricky thing that came out years ago, you know, like the backstage, people hated it. And I was like, that's good. If you really hated it, that did something to you. But as opposed to, oh, let's have lunch. You know, that's to me the worst kind of art we can get because it did feel meh. That's exactly the word I would use. Meh.
I wish we could. I would love to go back in time. This is where I would wish we like had obviously like Joan Crawford, right? Or not Joan Crawford. What was lady's name who did the who would always do the runway carpet questions? Hey, darling,
Joan Rivers.
Joan Rivers. Yeah. Like, can we just like teleport her and like have her like at these premieres? Like, I would just love to know what like the actual people like at that time period thought.
Oh my god!
Because maybe we're way off because we didn't fully understand the Dreyfus. You know what I mean? Like I would just
love. Who are you wearing? Alexa, come over here. Oh my god, Joan. Started.
Yeah. So okay. So then now let's move on to should it have won? Just for reference, as we always do, The Life of Emile Zola got a 7.1 on IMDb. I'll just read some of the higher ones from this week or from this time. Captain's Courage, which I actually want to see, got a 7.9. The Good Earth, which also stars Paul Muni, got a 7.5.
Yeah.
Stage Door got a 7.7. Some recognizable ones people may know of is A Star is Born, got a 7.3. And then Dead Ends has a 7.2, which is a bogey movie, which I actually have seen, Humphrey Bogart movie. So that's one of his very first ones. So for once, I actually can say I've seen more than one movie from this list. So I'm excited.
All right.
So I'll start with you guys. Should it have won?
What do you think, James?
I don't know. Like
I don't know enough about it.
The movies I've seen, like A Star is Born, shouldn't have won the Oscar, but do I like that better than this one? Yes. The Dead End, yes,
but is
like
that
a lot better?
But is The Star is Born that version better than the one that we all know from like the 50s? You know what I mean? Like that's like it's the same movie. The Judy Garland one, yeah. So it's like, are we making sure that we're doing the right Star is Born? Because I've never seen that one, but I don't think
there's three versions of it.
I know there is, but I'm saying like,
no, I'm doing the right one.
Okay, I'm just saying like you've actually seen the 30 like this one.
The original. There's the one with
30s. Yeah.
Judy. There's the one
you would put it ahead of that one.
No,
but
no, I'm saying, but you put it ahead of this movie. You put it ahead of this movie.
Yeah, but that's because I enjoyed it more.
Fair enough.
Like I'm not saying that should have won the Oscar either. But did I enjoy A Star is Born, and do I think it's a better movie? Yes.
Yeah.
But I also said that won the Oscar.
I also can't believe you say that you think Dead End's a good movie.
I mean, I think it's better than this.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. Just because it's a bit, just because it's a cooler,
kind of meh.
But it's because it's a cooler premise. Because it's Humphrey Bogart playing a gangster, so like that already wins me.
No, we've never seen that before.
Oh, that wins me.
I do want to see Captain's Courage because I was looking it up, and I mean that's a pretty high jump. 7.9 is pretty impressive. Yeah. That I would add to the list. Steven, did you have what was your thoughts on this?
I would say of all the movies that came out, especially the ones that were nominated, this is just my opinion. I would go with Stage Door. I love Stage Door. It's funny.
What's it about? Can you tell me?
It's about this.
I haven't heard about it, so that's why.
Katharine Hepburn is a rich socialite who wants to be an actress, and she moves into this real life. I forgot what the name of it. It's a real life hotel that Carol Burnett stayed in the same room with Yvonne Craig and 3 other girls.
Motel 8.
No, it was a hotel just for women and for performers, so you could work together. You'd stay together.
Oh, okay.
And so Katharine Hepburn is this rich socialite. She moves in with who was in that movie? Gosh, who was in that room with her? But it's very funny. Lucille Ball's in it. So
it's a comedy.
It's a comedy, but you get this because there's a character who wants to be in this in a play and she can't get a break, and spoilers, she dies. because she's this very sympathetic kid. She just wants to work in the theater. And then Katharine Hepburn has gotten her part. That's why she dies. And then Katharine Hepburn can't act herself out of a bigger bag, the character. And then she goes on opening night because this woman's just died.
Wow.
And she gives this incredibly dramatic performance. It's I mean, it's the whole, the calla lilies are in bloom again. Such a delicate flower. I mean, it's great. It just rips you apart.
So when did Anthony Hopkins get in there?
The flowers.
Clarice. I'm going to add that. Thank you, Stephen.
I think it's a really good, and Lucille Ball's hilarious in it. Hilarious.
I changed my thing too. I think based on your description, the stage door should have won.
Well, and our girl's in it. You know, Ann Miller's in it. Eve Arden.
Oh, really?
Like it's Ginger Rogers is the roommate of Katharine Hepburn.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a preference on it, so I like Dead End better, but I don't think it should have won. Because sometimes I think movies I think if they would have put their foot in the ground and said that this is anti-Semitic and it's wrong, I would have been like, yes. The fact they put their neck out for that, but I think it felt very safe.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you're going to tell a story about someone sticking their neck out, you need to stick your neck out.
Right. And again, I do kind of feel like this is a good summary of this podcast. Like at the end of us watching it and us talking about it, we're all three like, should it have won? We don't really know. Like it's kind of like, it's at the end of the day, it's what we say.
It's not like Crash where you're like, oh
good. All righty. Well, let's take a quick bus trip out of 1937. Pull up our wheel here, and let's find out what will be our next movie.
Bus trip out of 30. Where did you come up with that? That's funny. A bus trip. Come on, bird. Let's go. Oh my God.
To the moon.
To the moon.
Here we go.
One of these days.
Spin the wheel. Can you guys see my screen?
I can see. That's dirty. Where's that? Oh. Let's see what we got. Oh, God, hold on.
We are now watching. Oh, just kidding. We are actually staying in the 30s. We are now watching Mutiny on the Bounty, 1935.
Ole. Look at there.
Let's look at that one.
And I've been watching
all I've not seen that one.
The Thin Man movie, so I'm in a good place for this. This has been good. It's great.
What's the reference? Are they the same people like filmed them or what?
Oh, no, it's set in the first 4 are in the 30s. So
okay.
30s movies this week.
Oh, it's that Clark Gable and Charles Lawton. I love Charles Lawton.
Charles Lawton, look at you. Oh my God.
How could you not? You don't like Charles Lawton?
I think the name is funny. Charles Lawton.
So Charles Lawton, James, he's the lawyer from Witness for the Prosecution. He's like the one that you didn't like that movie that told you to watch. Yeah, it's him younger.
Yeah.
No, that one. Yeah.
And French O'Toole, who was married to Joan Crawford. There you go.
He's also a homosexual, right? Isn't Charles homosexual?
Well, if he's married to Joan, you don't know.
No, Charles Lawton's homosexual.
Looking at the film cover, like I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says first mate Fletcher Christian leads a revolt against his sadistic commander, Captain Blah. Captain Blah. In this classic Seafrag adventure based on a real life 1789 mutiny. So,
and it's got Clark Gable. Oh my God, what do you want?
And is this like a young? No, this is right. Yeah, because this is right before.
Oh, honey.
Whatever it's called.
For the people at home, Google the movie poster and tell me that does not look like a dirty romantic novel.
Oh, totally
it does, doesn't it? Oh yeah, with him in the water. Oh yeah.
Let me share my screen.
Francho. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah. So awesome. Well, once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us this episode. If you made it this far, please do consider subscribing and leaving us a like. It really does help the algorithm. We really do appreciate that. And we appreciate the support you guys have given us. And as always, this is the Chicago Cinephiles podcast. Signing out.